Hello there and welcome to Memoby's Galaxy. I am your host, Memoby. Thank you for joining us. If it is your first time joining us, welcome. This is a podcast for everyone who loves Star Wars, whether you just like Star Wars Episode 1 or if you're a Last Jedi kind of person. We are here today to discuss the Skeleton Crew. I am joined today by my friend Ethan. How are you doing, Ethan?
Doing good.
Good. You're going to be a regular for our Skeleton Crew review, so we're not going to go too much into your backstory personally. But do you like Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
Perfect. So we just watched the first 2 episodes of the Skeleton Crew, correct?
Yes, we did.
So we're going to try to do this as more of a, not really we're talking to the people. We're talking to each other about, because we haven't talked. So we just watched now I'm talking to the people.
Yes.
We just watched the Skeleton Crew. And we have not looked at any social media. I have not looked at any other people's reviews.
I have not.
I've only got my notes and the things that I think. We'll try to do a general, non-spoiler. I mean, it's not that many spoilers in general, but we'll try to keep it just kind of base level for the first minute, and then we'll actually get into spoilers. So, how'd you like it?
I thought it was really good. Actually, I think it's what I expected. I will say that. I wasn't too surprised by anything yet. I think it's what I expected the show to be, but I liked it. I really liked some of the characters a lot. So
I think it was a little more piratey than I was expecting initially.
True, yeah.
So opening sequence, not really a spoiler. So it opens with a pirate attack, which I thought was pretty sweet.
I thought so too.
So it starts with boarding. I mean, if you guys don't want spoilers, there's probably going to be spoilers throughout. I can't really stop myself.
Can't guarantee anything.
So if you don't want any notes on it, I enjoyed it. You should check it out. Now into spoilers, pretty much. I think.
All right. Well, I mean, what I will say, what he's saying there is, it's not going to be much spoilers anyway, because a lot of the stuff you see in the trailer is in these first 2 episodes.
Agreed.
So it's not too big of a spoiler if we do, but sorry if we do. But this is what this is.
the show is based after the rise of the New Republic. So this is after the fall of the Empire, kind of in the same world that we've been dealing with Mandalorian-ish.
Yeah.
Probably after Mandalorian. I'm not sure. So
is that what you think?
I think so. I think it's either after Mandalorian or during Mandalorian, because it's just during the height of pirates and the aftermath.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Because it said the New Republic is trying to maintain order. I think it was the intro line. They said. So it was pretty not brutal. I mean, because Star Wars isn't brutal even if you're killing people with laser blasters.
True. Yeah.
But I do believe that the intro was just a big pirate scene. A lot of pirates died. So here's my big spoiler that I think that captain that they kicked out is Jude Law. That's the whole. I hope it's not supposed to be a big twist, because I saw it and I'm like, well, there's Jude Law in a mask.
I mean, I know you mentioned that when we were watching it. I didn't really catch that, but now that you say it, I'm like, that's probably true.
He's wearing almost the exact outfit he's wearing from the trailers. I mean, I didn't super analyze the trailers, but I did watch them in quite detail. But he's wearing a mask. He has an English accent. They find 1 credit, and then they have a mutiny.
Unless they're trying to throw us off.
They're not trying to throw us off. It's just Jude Law.
I know. I feel like so far it's been pretty predictable, so they're probably not, and you're probably right.
It's definitely doing well with the whole stereotypical not kids show, but an 80s it feels very E.T. It feels very
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things-y, less cussing.
Yeah, definitely. Star Wars.
But the intro, I love the scene where the pirate ship is boarding, where they shoot their boarding ramps through the walls, and it just busts in. Yeah. And then there's pirates that are also flying across and taking out turrets manually. I thought that was super cool that they are I don't know. It's just cool to actually see pirates, because we've heard about them and we've seen them in the Clone Wars a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is more brutal pirates just attacking a cargo ship.
I mean, it's just cool in general to see pirates in the Star Wars sense, because we always picture pirates as the boats on the water, but this is ships in space, and they're kind of doing the same thing as what you would think of traditional pirates, and the show so far really is piratey. And I like that. I think it's really good, a good mix. So.
Yeah. But they are really delving into the very, very piratey talk,
Yeah.
They're very they're not saying R.
I know. I was gonna say there's no R, but
they're
it sounds that way
on the ship. They're very throw him in the brig, like very
Right,
piratey words.
Challenge the captain to death if you want to be the captain, you know,
Yeah.
from the droid.
And I don't necessarily mind that. I think it's fun. I think some people aren't going to enjoy that. I think they're going to think it's too like, well, great, they're just bringing that in. But I think this almost kind of goes into my next point, which is talking about At-Aten, which is the name of the which is a reference kind of to Star Wars in itself. Because an At-At.
How so?
Because At-At.
Oh, okay.
That's what they call
I got
like.
At on my shirt.
You
Right
do
now.
have an At-At on your shirt, and I think I think it's interesting that they named it At-Aten. It feels just more like a nod than it's just like a slight reference.
Sure.
But At-Aten is just it's a suburban world. How do you feel about the suburban world?
Yeah, I mean they have like they're on these like transits almost,
Mhm.
you know, all their cars and stuff, and
And they're all on like electric lines, kind of like city buses. Like
yeah,
electric
but
city
they
buses.
can like go off grid. You know, they were riding their bikes in the
Mhm.
forest,
Mhm.
but it seems like a forbidden thing to do so far.
Yeah, it's against the
Like
rules
they're
of
kind of it's
racing.
rebelly to do that.
Mhm.
You know.
I do believe that having like a suburban world and like a normal city is kind of George Lucas-y, right?
Yeah.
Because like episode 2 has like, you know, like a diner, like a 50s diner.
True. Yeah.
And also has like some regular like more, I mean, episode 2 is like the main one that does it, but Star Wars is really based in our world in a way.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of new Star Wars projects, they're trying to make it feel more 70s and 80s esque, like with like the little like thing, like the storybook.
The story pad.
like
yeah.
with physical buttons, less digital buttons.
True. At first, in like like an Etch-a-Sketch on the desk.
Dude, I
on
have
the
that
desk
written
right
down.
there?
I have Etch-a-Sketch written
Yeah,
down.
I thought that was really neat. And they even put like when they showed his image, the
Mhm.
guy he made or whatever, they have the lines across to where he would have to like Etch-a-Sketch his way into it.
Etch-a-Sketch
You know?
way in, yeah. I thought that was cool. But here's the question: is that too much like our world that takes you out? Does that take you out of Star Wars,
I
or
don't
does it
know,
make you
'cause
feel like
it's
you're in
weird
Star Wars?
like I think when you think of Star Wars, you think of futuristic, you
Yeah.
know, but this is like old school stuff.
It is old
So
school
it's
stuff.
like a mixture of futurist things, but like a old time thing is at the same time. I don't know.
It feels like they're trying to capture the 80s vibe and also capture like original Star Wars, like back like A New Hope. A New Hope didn't like. Oh, New Hope had some old school stuff, but they didn't really like show the technology.
Yeah.
Like George's main thing was just like showing, like the original, just showing like a lived in world, and then this
Right.
world is definitely lived in.
Then again, those were made further back than like the stuff we have now, the technologies we have
This is
now.
true. This is
But-
true. Yeah. So like the classic story, Wim and his like do good buddy Neil. They're just trying to live
Okay,
their
can
lives.
we just pause on Neil for a
Yeah,
second?
we talk about Neil.
Neil is my favorite character
Neil's
so far.
it's not over the top. It works.
Yeah.
It's really, really funny. I'm really happy with Neil. I think they're sticking with his character. He just has lines continuously like, okay, sure.
I know he's just so
He's so honest.
innocent
He's
and
so honest.
and
He wants to do the
like
right
he
thing.
just instantly answers. You know, they say like, "Who's your crush?" Instantly, he blurts
He
out.
just-
You know, it's like he's just so honest and it makes sense with the way they like portray his family right
Mhm.
now. Has his
Yeah.
siblings and his parents that love him and stuff, and yeah, he's just I love the character so far.
I think Neil's a perfect comparison of Wim. So Neil has a very supportive and loving family, right?
Yeah,
He loves it on At-Aten. Wim lost his mother and has a dad who's pretty harsh on him, wants him to grow up.
right.
So he doesn't see the benefit of following the rules as much. Because like Neil's like, well, just follow the rules, do whatever the government wants us to do what our
Yeah.
family wants. Wim, on the other hand, is like doesn't see the benefits of like following the system. And I think he wants to be a rebel, kind of like what was it, Fern? But I just don't think he has the gumption to do it.
Yeah, I agree. There's something in him that wants to be different, you know, but it's not quite as rebelly as Fern, I would say, you know.
I think the age of child they chose is good, because if they were like teenagers, the way they're acting just wouldn't work. I think them being young enough where like they are kind of instantly jealous of each other, like you know, we do some stuff with kids together.
Yeah.
We work with, like some of these ways they're acting doesn't seem that far fetched.
Right.
Of like, yeah, it's over the top. It is a movie, like it's a show, but like him just kind of like sulking and like, oh yeah, well I'm having a great time in the Jedi Temple. This is awesome. Like that's something a kid would do.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's cheesy because they are young enough. If they were like 16, 17, like, okay guys, like this doesn't work.
Agreed. Totally.
And Fern is like the cool kid, but like most of the kids don't really think she's cool because like they're super into school and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it works when you're in that young age. I feel like it works to think you're a cool kid and like try hard to be a cool kid and like no one really cares. But
Well,
like, you think you are?
With Fern, like what I see too is it makes sense why she's trying to be rebelly. Like her mom is one of the teachers or something. It looked like.
Yeah.
It's the same lady, but like to me, what that says is like she comes from this home where I don't know, she's a teacher's daughter, and it looked like her home was maybe a little nicer than theirs, you know, or maybe she's just wanting to get away from that, and that's why she's so rebelly or the way she is. Like she's already in the system, she knows how to get around the things, you know.
Yeah, because it's a pretty harsh system. I mean, like just listening to that teacher droid, like that's pretty rough.
Yeah, I know they're like kind of mean. Like, any questions? Nope, sit down. You know, it's like you didn't even get a chance to say anything.
Like slightly
like poor Neil.
and just like super boring.
Yeah.
No, but I'm okay with the world, and I think there's so the lore, right, is like AT-ATN is a lost planet, so they probably don't have that much contact with the outside universe because they have like a shield or whatever. Because they mentioned, I think it's like
the barrier.
So I think what the barrier is, my theory is it's like a cloaking device. I think that's why nobody can find it.
Yeah, because to the pirates, it's a myth.
Yeah, it's a myth because it has like infinite wealth. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
What it feels like is Treasure Planet. I'm getting a lot of treasure, not necessarily like I'm getting Treasure Island vibes. But have you seen the Disney Treasure Planet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Treasure Planet basically is this kid finds a map and he like joins a crew and then they happen to all be pirates. Anyways, they go and they find
wait, no, I've totally seen this.
Where like and they have like a droid and they like have a pirate and like they're trying to find the lost world of not Atlantis,
but see how it relates.
But like it's like a lost planet that like they're trying to find of this like myth among the
do you think it's lost or do you think it's protected?
I think it's hidden, but I don't know who it's hidden from. So my theory is they're isolated from, maybe not because they have like a government and they know, but it feels like they're slightly isolated. And that's why I feel like the technology feels older, because maybe they don't get as much new technology because they're not in the galactic like empire, or they weren't in the empire. They're not in the New Republic is almost what it feels like. And maybe like, cause I mean, we haven't seen the rest of the world a ton yet.
Well, do you think it's really older than like what we saw the pirates in the port? Because I don't think they had anything new looking.
No, not really.
Like to me, like if you were to think about it, like pirates in the sense that we understand them, you know, it's like boats and water, and like that's what a pirate is. They live in their boat and off of that, and anything. The way I see it is they're pirates, and these people are coming from a city. Yeah. So almost in my mind, the pirates are an older thing than where they're at. If that makes sense.
It did feel the place felt very Tortuga. From Pirates of the Caribbean. It was like the no one can find it except for the ones who know where it is, and it's like how they get in. So obviously, whatever ship that they're part of, I'm sure they'll figure out, because they get the ship or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we'll eventually find out who was the old captain of the ship, and like who was like I think it was like
even though we already think we do. But.
Well, no, like the ship that they have.
I can track it now.
Because like they're like, how did they get in past our turrets? Because they had like old like login codes for pirates. True. And when
like the turrets noticed they were there.
Yeah, but it seems like I think if they were just like a regular non-pirate ship, they wouldn't have been able to get in. Because I think is it SB-33? Was that the name of the droid? It was 33.
SW-33.
SW-33.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to recognize him. I thought when he showed up, they're going to be like, oh dang, here's the freaking. Here's the guy from the pirate ship, but they didn't. They didn't. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a big reveal.
That's a good point.
But they did not. So it must be like, obviously, whenever that pirate ship crashed on AT-ATN, it was like when they were searching for like the lost planet of AT-ATN.
And so I mean, apparently AT-ATN's currency is like super rare, and like that's the treasure apparently is what we're hearing, because it was his lunch money, like and it was something his dad just easily out of his pocket gave to him,
it's like old school like Republic credits,
but to them is like one was, oh my goodness, like from the beginning when they landed at the port. True. Like the guy they paid was like so happy and ran away with it.
But I think because it's Republic credits, right? So because Republic credits are pre-Empire.
Oh yeah.
So pre-Empire, and now we're like it's like 20, 30 years ago the last time he used
I
this.
think that's what they like. Old Republic credits is what they called it, right?
So I think whatever they've been using is that's why it feels, I don't know, that's why like Coruscant doesn't have any of these like little trams and stuff that are hooked to the ground.
Yeah.
As it feels like it's isolated from the outside world is what it kind of feels like. I think, I don't know, I am enjoying it. I don't know, what do you think the age that people like, what's the demographic that they're shooting? You think it's 14-year-olds they're shooting for? Do you think it's like 10-year-olds they're shooting for in this show? I mean,
That's a good question.
like what is their core demographic? Because it is like children.
Yeah.
And it is a fun-filled adventure
I see
show.
them as like middle schoolers.
Yeah. But no, but what do you think their audience is, like, for us?
Oh.
Like, who do you think Disney's shooting for? Like, is this a kid's show? Is this an adult show?
True.
Is it like a in between, just a Star Wars show? Is it just Star Wars?
It's hard to say because there's a lot, like the start of it was really intense. You know, if they're aiming for a kid's show, maybe they would not have had it be that way.
Like quite as killing, but it is like laser blasters, which is less violent.
Yeah.
It's not blood. It's more of like a piratey adventure, like almost kids stuff. Because I know a lot of people personally, from like work and stuff. They're like, I don't want to watch it. It's just a kid's show. Like even like Star Wars Theory said, like, it looks like a good kid's show. So like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's kind of saying that. Based on the trailers, it looks like a kid's show, Stranger Things sort of thing. Like,
but Stranger
Things,
but Stranger Things isn't a kid's show.
No.
It's a show based on kids.
Of course, there's cussing and there's a lot going on in Stranger
Dude,
Things.
imagine they did that in this show. They just started dropping the F-bomb, dude.
Could you imagine Neil, the most innocent, honest kid?
I bet he'll probably say something. I don't know. I am enjoying it. I like the world that they built. I think it's interesting because I feel like even Wim's dad doesn't really necessarily know everything. I don't know. He said he's just like an analyst or something, I think. I can't remember what he said. No, that was the other, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what his job was. I didn't write that down. But I kind of like the world. It's kind of very like overarching, like government, like, you know, a lot of people watching them, a lot of rules. Like they seem happy, but like there's a lot of like students that do not show up on time will be taken to the whatever. Like there's a lot of
definitely
a lot of rules.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's so many rules and they're having a problem with it.
No,
like everyone's
it's just
trying to get out of this government thing. That doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's just how they're used to how their planet goes. You know,
it feels very like dystopian future, kind of like what's that? I mean,
maybe we'll find out it's more evil than that. But
if it's giving a lot of the Giver, is that what that movie was? The book series, The Giver.
Oh yeah,
it feels very that like this is just the rules. Why would you question them? Like just like take your medicine in the morning, get your prick, and just like live your life and do what you're supposed to.
Yeah. I do love their kind of their own little Star Wars verbiage. They have, you know, like the one they're like claimsies. You know, it's like our version of dibs. You know? Like,
I think and then they're like everyone on the planet knows that, man. But, well, claimsies. Oh, dang it. Well, that checks out. They got it. The girls got it.
Yeah.
But I think they're the right age to have those conflicts between like girl and boy conflicts. So like it works. It doesn't feel as like it's cheesy, but they're still just kids. And like the girl boy thing, like oh no boys allowed kind of deal. I think works. I don't.
True, it is kind of a girls versus boys, you know, and that's the right age for that.
It's the perfect age.
Yeah.
There's a ton of references. I didn't catch them all. I'm gonna do a quick reference talk.
Yeah.
And then I have one.
You
more.
definitely caught more than I did. But
I have one more point. So, Fern and KB was the girl's name, like the cyborg girl, whatever she is. They need a power converter for their little racer. That power converter is the one that Sebulba. It's the same. That's the
one that Sebulba took out of Anakin's.
It's the same one, which I thought was interesting because in the intro they have young Anakin's face in like the intro, like Star Wars intro thing, which I think was put there one because they're talking about they also say wizard a lot.
Yeah,
which Anakin says. Huh. And also, I mean, Mandalorian says it, like Mando says it once,
for sure.
But they say it twice in this show. And Anakin says that, and he's in the intro, and they have a power converter that just like the one he had. I don't know. I like the small references.
And I mean, even just she's a racer. You know, she's talking about a big race. It sounds a lot like Episode 1.
And I think Wim's like desire to leave the planet is very like Luke coded.
Yeah.
You know, just like stuck on your planet. You don't love your planet. You got your parents you don't not vibing with, and you want to like go explore the galaxy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Toshi Station to pick up power converters. One other crazy reference. The little hologram show, the little circus.
Okay, you said something new, but didn't tell me yet.
Dude, that's an insane reference.
What is it?
That is the holiday special. Like the original Star Wars holiday special back in the day, the one they deleted, the one that George refuses to say
like the dancer girl in the hologram.
Yeah, there's like it's not the one that Chewbacca's granddad is like watching. It's the one that's on the table, and it dances just like that, and they have juggling, and it looks just like that.
Really,
that's a wild reference to me. I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, because like most of the,
and I mean that's old.
It's very old. It's old school, kind of like they would be, because that's like Republic era. Well, that's Empire era. But again, I think it's cool they're referencing that, because they've done other references like Life Day and stuff like that. They do reference the holiday special, which I think is mainly just for deep Easter eggs for like fans.
And in case they missed it in the intro, of course, then they do show the different characters. Young Anakin was in there.
They did show it, yeah.
So that obviously they're referencing things towards episode 1 from the beginning.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. So I think so. Let's think about it. Rey, who lived on a backwater planet, didn't know. They thought Jedi were like completely fake. She didn't have any info about Jedi. I thought Luke Skywalker was a myth. I didn't think Jedi were real.
Huh.
Right. So you have these people that is after that. Right? Yeah, this is after that. Oh, no, it's like the same time, like around the same time as that, because post-Empire, pre-sequels, I think we're somewhere in that era. But these people have like literature. They have like storybooks talking about Jedi temples, and sometimes they go down into the ground. That's why this feels like it's...
Sure, I mean, his story pad, that's what he's looking through. He's like reminiscing on the story of the Jedi.
Yeah, which makes me feel like they knew about Jedi. Like it's... They went into hiding or whatever, or into like this, like the barrier, when Jedi were still like reigned supreme, not supreme, because it's pre-Empire, right? Pre-Empire, there was Jedi everywhere, so I think that's when they went into either hiding or isolation from whoever did it. So I think that's why they have stories, because that was a thing. Because after the fall of the Jedi, right? Darth Sidious tried to delete pretty much. He tried to delete Jedi. He tried to get rid of, because they don't have like written, Star Wars doesn't have written text really, except for like the Jedi like books. So I think he just did a mass wipe of all information about Jedi. And I think that's how they can lose. That's how it makes sense that Rey thought he was a myth, because if they just delete everything about it, they don't have to like worry about it. So I think these guys are outside of that realm, and that's why they know about the Jedi and like temples. Like, who knew about temples? Why would they know about temples? Temples were like kind of like a private thing for Jedi.
Yeah.
So was this world created by like Jedi somehow? Like, like it's very interesting.
It's interesting too, because like in Aten, like everyone knows about the Jedi. Yeah. But it's like almost like they admire them, but in a way are frowning upon it as well. Cause
or they
the way
think
he
it's
explained fake. Wim when he wanted to. They were talking about their careers or whatever, and he said his thing. And, Neil's like, you basically said you wanted to be a Jedi. Yeah. And he's saying that in a way like, come on, really, like, it can't be that. Mm-hmm. They're like choosing these other normal careers in Aten. But
it almost feels like, because like Wim and Neil, they do like a lightsaber fight at the first, like a pretend one.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I totally spaced over that.
It kind of feels like, because that's when you watched it earlier today.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it's more, not like a myth, but like just a storybook. Like, it's just a storybook. Because like, it feels like a nerd thing to know about Jedi in that world, because the other kids aren't into Jedi.
Oh, as in you don't, like, they might not even know it's a real thing.
I think the kids think it's real, and then like the adults don't, potentially, because they've been in this world for probably generations, potentially, because we're not sure. But like, it almost felt like these are like the nerd boys, and they're like super into Star Wars, and like the other kids are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Jedi?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Like it's almost like they saw it when they were kids as well, but like didn't keep into it, because like his dad says, aren't you a little old for like storybooks or whatever, or like bedtime stories, his dad says at one point. So it's almost like whatever age he's at, it's like, this is the age that you're supposed to grow up and choose your career. He's doing like his career assessment thing. So it's hard to say, either like they make kids grow up earlier, which is like pretty normal in those kind of like post whatever. It
Yeah,
kinda
that
feels like-
scene definitely had some emphasis on it for us to
Mhm.
take note of too. When he said that, he's like, "Aren't you a little too old for bedtime stories?"
Yeah.
Like he looks at that, he's like, "What?"
Well, right, because it made him think. Because then Fern says it later. It's like, you need to grow up, and he's like, you grow up. And
Yeah.
he like doesn't want to grow up. He's like, I'm fine. Like he's not like stoked on it because his dad is also telling him those things. But no, I don't know. What do you think about? So I'm pretty sure Jude Law was the old pirate captain.
Mhm.
He's gonna be. I think he has to be some sort of Jedi, right?
I mean, he's using the Force.
Right. So like, was he like? Do you think he was like an ex-Jedi who like decided just to be a pirate and go into hiding, or what?
Like disguising as a pirate, or like,
Yeah, kind of like.
oh,
Kind of like making the most of Order 66. Like he was like a young Padawan because he's not acting like he knows like a ton about the Force. It feels like a Kanan Jarrus situation from Rebels. Like he was a Padawan during Order 66, and then he got separated from his master, and then now he's like, well, I'll just be a pirate because I can manipulate people, right? He can use mind tricks. He can be a really good pirate.
True.
If you hide that you're a Jedi, you won't get like tracked down by the Empire. Now this is post-Empire, so now he's like thriving. He can kind of do whatever he wants. It feels like that's what it's going to be eventually, since we haven't gotten to like a live action.
Yeah.
It's like a
We
live
haven't
action.
seen like a lightsaber on him or anything yet either.
No, and I don't think he will because he's like
Yeah.
he's in captivity, and I think he's probably hiding that because he knows that he needs to pretend he's not a Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he tells the kids like to tell a secret because he knows he can like tell the kids to shut up and they'll do whatever he says since he can help them out.
Yeah.
I think so. My predictions for the future of the show
Yeah.
is he's going to be like their new. He's not going to be captain because she's going to hold on to that, and the droid's going to make her stay captain. I think he's going to help them, and I think he's going to learn that they're from At-Aten, and he's going to try to manipulate them to get to At-Aten. He's going to get there. He's going to decide to turn them in, and then he's going to have a heart change, and then come back and save them. Right?
So you think we're gonna get back to and sooner?
No. I think he's going to work his way to it. The finale is going to be him getting back to At-Aten.
Oh, the finale.
So the finale of the show. Here's my opinion.
Okay.
He's going to get them back. There's going to be a big reveal that he's actually a big bad pirate guy that's been manipulating them. How could you do that? Oh, blah, blah, right? And then he's going to like rob them. He's going to take everything away. They're going to like about to die or whatever. And then he's going to like fly back in, have a big change of heart, cliche show stuff. That's what it feels like. And then it's going to be like dun dun dun, and they're going to be all happy. That's my prediction.
True. I mean, because
It's been really predictable so
if
far.
you look at it, he's in the brig for right now.
Yeah, they did
Like he's in jail for something. He's obviously probably not a good guy. You know.
Yeah. He's
Like
he's
at heart, he
the
probably
pirate.
has that in the past.
He's the pirate.
I think
captain.
you're on to
He
something for sure.
It's the same costume. If you go back and look at the intro, it is he has the little neck thing. It's brown. Yeah, dude, it's the exact same.
Yeah, I think.
Hopefully that didn't spoil it for
Well,
you.
yeah, and we'll see what happens at the end. I do think you're probably spot on with the end there. It just
Yeah.
makes sense, because
Mhm.
right now he's gonna manipulate them. He understands them for sure. He understands way more than these pirates do. So
Yeah.
he's gonna act like he's helping them,
Mhm.
probably rob them,
Yeah, because it helps him to get out.
and then realize where he came from and who he really is.
Yeah.
And maybe you're right. Maybe that's the change of heart, and that's the finale.
Yeah, and like they're gonna be like, because there's a scene in the trailer that's like, you're a Jedi, right? And he goes, of course I am.
So here's
think-
what I'm hoping though.
Or he could just be using the Force.
is we're predicting this ending now.
Yeah,
and
I am.
I mean, that'd be a really cool ending. I think
Mhm.
that'd
Yeah.
make for the show. What I'm hoping doesn't happen though is that is the ending, and all the episodes in between are just these weird fillers to like show a story about kids, and
I mean,
maybe explain some more things and stuff. But I'd like to see some other things happen in there. you
like
know?
what? Like more just like adventures, or like because all stories are just ending, like going to the end, right? So like what could happen that would be beneficial to
I
get
know
to the
that,
end?
and that's what I'm thinking. Like, how do you not have fillers until something like that?
It seems like they're gonna have more run-ins with the pirates. They're gonna like try to escape. There's gonna be like traps and stuff. I think there's gonna be one point they're gonna try to trap the pirates or something. I like the pirates a lot. I think Urkel's fine. And I like the dog guy. I forget that that species. Oh man, I should know that.
Like the big wolf guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the main the lead pirate or whatever.
Because we first see them in episode 4 is when so that this is like an original creature that George Lucas came up with, and I think that's smart of them to try to keep it. I think Disney's kind of scared of doing anything new, so they're trying to do things that like we've seen.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of new things though. Like some of these creatures in the cages.
Yeah,
we haven't seen yet.
I agree.
And that fairy guy, or however you call him, that's a new thing, right?
Yes, this wee little ferryman.
Yeah, ferryman.
Because he's ferrying them. He's not a ferry. That's his job as a ferryman. I'm fine with him. He's really goofy. Yeah. I liked him a lot.
I like him too.
I like the puppet a lot. But
here's what I think we're gonna see though.
Yeah.
Is it for the fillers? There's always gonna be a lot of going wrong and then fixing it, going wrong, going back to fixing it, and I'm really excited to see how they do that.
I wonder if because like normal TV shows, right? They do like episodic. They start the episode, and then there's something, and then they have a conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna go to that point. I don't think Disney's quite to that part, like Star Wars. I think it's all gonna be pushing the narrative to the finale.
So do you think there's going to be something that will only, once again, have a season 1 and no season 2?
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
I think this is a season 1. I think Andor's going to have season 2, obviously.
I think they've announced it, right?
Yeah, it's coming out in April or whatever.
Yeah.
Or May.
I'm so excited for that.
Yes. But that's all I really got. I don't, that's all my predictions. That's all my references I had. Anything else you got on that? Any other notes?
I agree. I think it's only going to be another season 1 sort of Star Wars thing.
Unless it just kills,
that would really throw me off, and I'd be pretty happy with them if they figured out a way to throw me off that much. But
I think
it'd be hard to do.
I think the only way they can do a season 2 is if they don't set it up for a season 2, like too much. Kind of like Kenobi, like where it ends. It's a season. It doesn't need a season 2.
Yeah.
And I think that would do stronger, because if it ends too much of a cliffhanger, I think that'd be too much of a stretch, like with The Acolyte being canceled with a really big cliffhanger. Not a cliffhanger, but like really open-ended.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's not smart of them to not end it. I think it'd be smarter of them to end it, and then if like, oh, there's a season 2, well, we still have characters, they're not all dead. Like, I don't think all these characters are going to die.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all going to show up in the Mandalorian movie, though. Like, I don't.
Nope.
Hopefully we don't have a big crossover like that. I could see.
I don't see that happening.
I could see like the plant guy from season 3 of Mandalorian, the plant pirate. You remember that guy? He's like a green plant man, and he was like the pirate that was chasing Mando around in season 3.
Oh yeah.
I could see him showing up.
Yeah, I definitely think we could see some Mando characters.
Yeah, and then that might help us place where this is in the timeline.
But I think there's a difference there though with seeing Mando characters in this versus seeing characters in this in the Mando Grogu movie.
Correct. No, I 100% agree. I don't think we're gonna get like an end game with these kids showing up to help out Mando. Like, dude, if they bring in another Mando episode into this out of nowhere, like Book of Boba Fett, that'd be so funny. Oh my goodness! It's almost like
I just don't see how they could make that happen. I think this one feels so worthy of it being a good, solid season 1 show. That's it.
I think that they should just do it. I think they should just have a Mando episode in the middle. I think they should reference
something to Mando, but not, or maybe like you see him in the shadows do something. I don't know.
I think he should just be a character and just show up and just. I think he should take over every show from now on.
I think I'd be upset at that.
Like Andor, there's like a little Mando comes in, dude. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm like, man, if we're gonna make it a trope, let's make it a trope.
Yeah. It to me though, it does just feel worthy of having a really good, 8-episode series and teaching us about this.
Is that how many episodes it is?
Well, I just assume it'll be.
I don't actually remember now.
I don't remember either, but
I think I posted, didn't I?
I think it's not 9 actually. I remember you posted the dates. But
here it is. There's 8 days of. So there's 9 episodes, but there's 8.
Right.
Because today there was 2, right?
8 days of it. Because 1 and 2 is today.
Yeah. So
I mean,
what?
I think I just start controversy when I say that, but this one I think is worthy of staying out of season 1.
Yeah.
Acolyte, I think it was worthy of having a season 2.
That's okay. No one made it this far that doesn't like the Acolyte. No, but that's my takes. Anything else that happened in it? No Gungans, sadly. I do like the one line where Neil goes to the pirate and is like, look, aliens. These guys look crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like Neil, he's like an elephant dude, and he lives around other aliens.
The only thing I'm hoping for is if we see something more on his wizards line. Like, what more about wizards can we see?
What do you mean?
Like,
He wasn't talking about wizards.
Because that's what they say. It references wizards. Like Neil, when he says wizards.
He didn't say wizards. He says that's wizard.
Yeah. Well, it's something I'm saying, like.
Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know.
That's just what Anakin said. That's like, dude, that's totally wizard.
I know, but you don't think that's gonna mean anything?
No, that's just what kids say. It's like radical.
So it was another thing like saying claimsies. That's all that was.
Yeah, it's like radical. Dude, that's so radical.
Oh.
Dude, that's so wizard.
I guess that makes sense.
Not
I
saying
totally
an
was
actual.
hoping like we might
No.
see something out of that.
No, I don't think there's gonna be any wizards.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, so much for that.
Do you have any other thoughts on the show?
I don't think so. I think there's just more to be excited about in the next few episodes.
I
This is
agree.
just our first podcast on it, and
Yeah.
now we'll see how much of our future thoughts will come into fruition.
I'm excited to see how the finale is.
Because what if we're just so wrong?
We could be. I don't feel like I made that big of a take, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But anyways, thank you for joining us. This
Thanks,
is
guys.
episode 1 of the Skeleton Crew review. Today is December 2nd. The next episode it'll be every Tuesday, ending on January 14th. So every Tuesday we will have an episode. Ethan will be in a lot of them, except
Most of them.
I think there's like one I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to
Yeah.
do it remotely. But please subscribe or follow or leave a review if you're on Spotify. If you're on
Yeah.
podcast, leave a review.
Always plug.
Every little thing helps. If you have any questions or if you think we got anything wrong, message me on Instagram at Obi1_memobi.com. Not .com. Obi1 Memobi Instagram, or you can email me. I don't know who emails, but it is.
And he will reply.
It's obi1.memobi@gmail.com. So thank you for joining us. I had a blast. I can't wait to see you guys next week. And cut.
Cut. You need a... Even though it's not a movie scene.
Yeah,